Hello, my name is Delaney Gale. I'm the art teacher here at Wickham Elementary and also at Alexander here in the Iowa City Community School District. Today we're going to be watching a couple videos of some pop art artists, as well as kind of a video telling us a little more about pop art. So once we watch those, we'll get started on our own pop art self-portraits. What everyone's going to need today are going to be some palettes. Not everyone in the class will need a palette for themselves, but each table will have one for when we move on to our last step today. We're going to have water cups as well. I expect that these look just as nice at the end of class as they do at the beginning. The paint that we're using today is a paint that will stain, so if you want to have your clothes protected, take care of that right away. You'll see on this card up at the front, 6K, this card is going to have everything we need today. Pencils and erasers are over on the counter. We really won't need those for much, but that's where they are always located for our sub to know, as well as our students if we need them. But today we'll be using Sharpies. We're going to use acrylic paint with brand new paintbrushes, so these better be cleaned out pristinely. And we're also going to have images that we took of ourselves from last week, pictures that were printed off, and acetate, which is a clear plastic. Now, not everything is in here. We're missing our pictures and our acetate, but this is where all of our supplies will be starting with class today. Once we watch our two videos, we're going to head back to our table spots. We'll pass out our pictures that we took from last week. Students took 2 photos of themselves. They'll be deciding which one they want today. Once you get your picture back, you're going to also get your acetate. Now, this piece of plastic is very lightweight. It can crinkle if we mess with it a little bit too much, so we need to be very aware of how we're using it and being very careful with this. I have enough for all of you to just use one. So be aware of that as you receive this today. You can see the shine here. We need to be very careful. Our first step is going to be to line it up all together. Be really nice and gentle, and then just know that once we kind of set it here, we don't want it to move too much. I know there's a big glare on my face now. It's a picture from last year, but you'll see it a little more once we continue on with step 1. So, step 1 here is to trace the simple lines. We are tracing the simple lines of the face because we're kind of imagining it as a cartoon character or one of these pop art images. So they're going to be very simplistic in our lines. Holding one hand on your acetate in your paper to keep it in a nice position, we're going to slowly find a comfortable place to start tracing. I usually like to kind of get the outside and move in, but some of you may want to do your details first. Just keep in mind today the importance of just doing a simple trace, okay? We're not putting all of our details in with the Sharpie right now. If we do that, our image is going to end up looking quite aged, quite old. So we trace the lines that we find to be most important. I'm going to get my nostrils here. I'm going to do the little C shape and connect my smile lines here, but I'm still keeping it simple. I'm going to find my eyebrows. You can kind of define what shape your eyebrows are going to take, whether it's completely traced or squared out or rounded out. I'm going to trace over my eyes. Again, we don't want to do too much tracing. If we over trace, we're going to look really old. So I'm getting my eyes in there. I will do my eyelid just to show, hey, my eyes are open, we're checking everything out. Fill this in a little with my Sharpie. And last but not least, on the face, I will do my mouth. Now, the slower you go, the better your line work will be with the Sharpie. You really kind of get just one go here with the Sharpie, because if we're going too fast, your lines will be a little sloppy. And also, we're intending that each of you only gets one, so please do your best today to keep these looking really nice and neat. Teeth can be tricky sometimes, but remember, simple can be better. And then you will want to decide, is there something that you're going to trace in your background? Are you going to include your whole torso, your whole bust? I do recommend tracing down your shirt and your clothes. It's going to add a cool aspect to our pop art. Okay? Now once you're done tracing, and we can remove our picture now, we can see our face, and this looks really awesome. If you did too many lines, you can kind of see the difference here. You end up with this really aged look. So try to keep it as simple as you possibly can, not too many lines right here. Once you're done with step 1, we're going to move right on to step number 2. And on the same side as we did our Sharpie, so we don't even want to move it over, we're now going to use primary colors to fill in the hair and background. We're not doing anything else but the hair and background today. So you will find in your bin and in the sinks our palettes. We're going to use blue, red, and yellow, just our primary colors. So you should be strategic in what you're choosing. If I'm doing my hair and my background, do I want my hair to be an accurate color to my hair color already? Is it going to be a darker or a lighter color, or am I going to juxtapose those and switch it around? But what you're going to do is get your acrylic paint. Again, these are our new brushes, so treat them nicely. And you're going to fill in these parts of your pop self-portrait. Alrighty. So I'm going to kind of take my time on the hair. I'm not going to do the background like you will today. The background meaning like where I just splotched my paint all the way around the rest of this. Be nice and gentle when you're getting your paints for your tables. Don't overdo it. You can always get more, but I don't want to see any acrylic paint waste today. Alright, so I've got my hair done. I would continue on with my background. And then step number 3 today is to make sure that we carefully place our projects on the drying rack starting at the bottom. So you guys will put these on our white drying rack by the windows, placing them in the direct center so they're nice and supported starting at the bottom. And then it'll be your responsibility to clean out your brushes, your palettes, and then to get water cups nice and rinsed. Enjoy this today. Have fun tracing instead of having to draw, and please, please, please make sure we are respectful and kind, and I will see you next week.